139, Hot Springs proper at 140. Libby Memorial Physical Center, you can see that'll be around 141, and several other landmarks here listed on your screen. If you are in Hot Springs or the area surrounding, we need you in your safe place. Lowest floor, away from windows, not a room with windows. Let's go over those safe places one more time. Let's zoom out just a little bit more. There's where that rotation is, near Hemp Wallace, near Chapman Road. Moving to the east-northeast in this area of southern Garland County, and if you are under a tornado warning, because we do have multiple out there, find a sturdy structure, not a mobile home. You want to be in the lowest floor of your home, away from windows. On the lowest floor, find that room with no windows, wrap up with blankets, pillows, a mattress, whatever it takes, maybe even a helmet to protect your head as this rotation closes in on Hot Springs. It is broad rotation right now. I don't see signs of an actual tornado on the ground, but we have gotten reports of a funnel cloud. So if it hasn't touched down, it may be in the development phases right now. So North Moore Road, that's kind of moving through your area now. Ranchero Place, as well as some other spots here along Highway 70 and areas just north. Westgate Terrace, Candleberry Circle, Rock Creek Road. That's on the west side of Hot Springs. That rotation is going to be closing in on Hot Springs just like that, kind of following Highway 70 from Hemp Wallace up to Rockwell to Hot Springs. So be in your safe place there. One more track on that, and we're going to need to take you a little farther north to Perry County. We got another tornado warning that's active right now there. So Hot Springs around 143. And by the way, brand new tornado warning here for Pike County. Let's zoom out just a second before we talk about that one in Pike County. I want to just make sure that we have all of these listed. If you're watching us from home, bear with us. There are multiple tornado warnings in effect right now in the KARK and Fox 16 coverage area. This is Van Buren County, Western Cleburne County. Tornado warning there until 2 o'clock. Another one here that's coming out of Perry County, crossing over into Conway County. That goes until 2 o'clock there. Another one here for the city of Hot Springs, which goes until 1:45. That is for Garland County, and it's closing in on Hot Springs. And let's zoom in a little closer on this one coming out of Pike County. This is an area that was under a warning a while ago, and here we have another one here. This is going to be in northern Pike County, that rotation there right along Highway 70 to the south and west of Glenwood. Let's look at velocity. It's going to be in a really tough area to look at because you're so far from both Little Rock and Shreveport radar sites. But this is the second tornado warning you've been under in Glenwood, and we want you to be in your safe place again. I know you're probably going to get tired of getting in your safe place. You'll probably have multiple warnings today. Treat them all seriously, please. By the way, Hot Springs, this rotation is strengthened a little bit. That rotation is near Rockwell, and it looks like it's going to it's going to come really close to Hot Springs. I hope this doesn't touch down. That's going to be near Thornton Ferry. It's right over Thornton Ferry Road now. Bull Bayou Road, Weston Road. Coming into that loop here around Hot Springs. So that's going to be moving in. Like I said, I've been saying this for a little while, but Hot Springs, you need to be in your safe place right now. And if you know anybody who's out driving around in Hot Springs, tell them to get inside a sturdy structure, away from windows, an interior room. This is coming into the north side, west side really, west and north side of Hot Springs. But if you're in Hot Springs, whether on the south side, north side, doesn't matter. Get in your safe place. Let's ride this out. That rotation is right around Bull Bayou Road now. Let's zoom out a little bit. I want to look at the, let's look at the rain mode real quick. Let's look at rain mode. That rotation is right there. You can see the hook with it. Now let's switch to the correlation coefficient. That's going to be your debris mode. We have a tornado on the ground here just northwest of Hot Springs. Tornado warning right now, Hot Springs. You need to be in your safe place. This tornado is on the ground near Highway 227 at Mid-America Boulevard. Let's get a track on that. That is tracking toward the east-northeast. Black Snake Road, I believe, Cedar Glade Road, safe place now. Lowest floor, away from windows. Let's get those safe places listed here on your screen. Let's first get a list of places. This tornado on the ground now, just outside of Hot Springs. Linden Park at around 136, 138 at Jones Elementary School. And then Euclid Heights at 140. All of these places need to find your safe place. Take a picture of your screen right now and send it to anyone who is listed on this list here. You want to find that sturdy structure, not a mobile home. You want to be in a house that is built on a foundation. Middle of the house, lowest floor. Again, this is a tornado on the ground near Highway 227, north of 270 there. That is obviously a tornado on the ground. We're looking at the debris indicator. Here's Black Snake Road, Cedar Glade Road. That's going to be tracking to the east-northeast. So it's going to probably stay north of downtown Hot Springs, but you need to be in your safe place, Hot Springs proper. That is really close. This is a tornado on the ground near Bull Bayou Road, working its way east-northeast, West Mountain Drive. Let's get into this community right here, just on the north side of Hot Springs. And by the way, we have multiple tornado warnings in place right now, so we're going to be jumping around from one to the other. Carmen?
I know that does look like that debris ball on radar. That has not been confirmed that it's on the ground, but based off of the reading, what we're getting, that's what it looks like. Still something to be taken very seriously, but we do not have confirmation that it is physically on the ground right now, just outside of Hot Springs, but still wanted to take it just as seriously. So Joel just wanted to give you that update.
But what we're looking at right now on the debris indicator does show that a tornado is likely on the ground, so we need to treat this as such. Northern part of Hot Springs here, there's Hot Springs downtown. If this isn't on the ground right now, it touched down very briefly right there because that does co-locate. Let's switch over to the velocity mode. I want to show you how that blue spot, zoom in a little closer here. You can see where that is right there. And if we look at the rain mode, you will see where that is co-located with the hook that is moving into Hot Springs there. So we really need to be in our safe place at really right along Highway 70. And by the way, this is going to eventually work its way over along Highway 70 over into parts of Saline County. You can see a very clear hook. Let's look at debris mode one more time because we're going to get another scan here soon. And if we see another scan showing the same thing, we've got a tornado that's still on the ground here just to the north of Hot Springs. That's moving. Generally, you can see it right there. We had a scan there. We got another one there. This is a I know that they're probably not saying it in the chat yet, but this is very obvious debris signature there that is moving through the north side of Hot Springs. So this is going to be at Cedar Glade Road, West Mountain Drive, Fire Lane Road there. There's Whittington Avenue that's tracking to the east. So Hot Springs downtown, this is probably going to stay north of you, but it's coming close. We need you in your safe place. Let's go over those safe places once again, Carmen. Those safe places, Hot Springs, you need to be in a sturdy structure, lowest floor, away from windows. Get in that safe place, put on a helmet. That'll protect you from head trauma if there is flying debris. And by the way, bear with me, we've got 2 more tornado warnings, and I don't want to ignore these. Let's get in here into parts of southern Conway County. That rotation there is closing in on I-30, and we're going to have some cameras, I-40 in southern Conway County. That rotation near Opelo, right there. We're crossing out of Perry County, getting here into the southern part of Morrilton. Let's turn on the debris mode. I want to make sure that is not on the ground there near Opelo. If we can get debris mode pulled up. All right, let's look at rotation. All right, let's look at velocity here near Opelo. You want to avoid cars or trucks. You don't want to be driving along Interstate 40 right now. That rotation, let's look at how it's evolved over the last little bit, Carmen. It doesn't look as strong as the one near Hot Springs. And hey, by the way, since this is weakened a little bit, Hot Springs, you still got this one. It looks like it's on the ground. A new tornado warning right here for Saline County. I'm going to have to stay on this for a minute. Pat, make sure we're not missing anything up in Van Buren County with that storm up there near Clinton. But this is a tornado that looks like it's on the ground just north of Hot Springs. You've got strong circulation, new tornado warning that's been issued now for Saline County. So this will be kind of going through the Fountain Lake area here. Whittington, you need to be in your safe place. That tornado right there along Highway 128. Let's look at the debris mode here. Let's make sure that this is, let's get a track up here, but let's also look at the debris mode. I want to see if we have another scan. Do we have a tornado on the ground right now? That's going to be, I believe we do.
It looks impressive.
Yeah, we've got a tornado that's on the ground here, and it's going to be heading toward Fountain Lake, Whittington. That's going to keep moving generally toward Benton. That tornado is on the ground here, probably getting over Sleepy Valley Road now. This is northeast of Hot Springs proper. Here's Glade Street, this general area along Arkansas Highway 128 north of Hot Springs. So Hot Springs downtown, Just to your north, you've got some really strong wind coming through there, but this is going to stay mostly just to your north. Highway 70, I would not be on Highway 70 there on the north side of Hot Springs, but that rotation will keep working its way that way. So this will stay just north of Highway 70. That'll eventually take it into areas just north of Benton here. Let's get that track and let's get some town names up here. DeSoto Park, 141. Safe Place Now. Cutter Morningstar High School, Fountain Lake, Whittington, Lonsdale, Nance, Rural Dale School, Rubicon, Benton State Hospital, Haskell, Saline Memorial Hospital, all of those locations in the path of the storm between now and about 2:15. So this is a brand new tornado warning. Carmen, how long does this tornado warning last?
This is until 2 p.m., the new one.
Until 2:15. So we have a tornado that's on the ground or has been on the ground. And by the way, we need to be calling emergency managers. We have some folks in the newsroom who are reaching out to Garland County officials there to find out, of course, once they can safely get out, to find out what has been damaged and what's happening. So we've got this tornado warning, tornado that has been spotted on the ground, or at least we have confirmation through radar that this at least briefly touched down, may still be on the ground, working its way south of Fountain Lake. This new scan showing this signature may be weakening a little bit, but I say that very carefully because we've seen this thing touch down, may have lifted briefly. Let's look at the debris mode around Fountain Lake. I want to see if that's still on the ground. It's still looking like there's some debris there lofted in the on radar, and then we're seeing there near Fountain Lake. Right there at 128, there's where we may have a tornado on the ground near Grimmett Loop. It's not as pronounced of a debris signature, but let's treat it seriously. Saline County, I need you in your safe place. That's going to be riding here. What is this road here from Rubicon over toward Whittington, toward Fountain Lake? I need to get a number there. That's going to be, if we can, all right, that's near Owensville. Yeah. What is that?
Highway 298 is what it looks like.
Highway 298, so that's right there, 298 from Whittington. So that storm, let's zoom out a little bit. That storm is right there near Fountain Lake, and it's going to kind of generally follow that highway 298 from Fountain Lake back over here toward Owensville, probably staying north of Lonsdale. It'll head toward Kentucky, Arkansas. Here's a look at the towns that are in the track of this storm. Fountain Lake High School, that general area, 143 right now, basically. Whittington, 152. Lonsdale, 156. You're watching Arkansas Storm Team coverage. A tornado has touched down on the north side of Hot Springs, or just north of town, and that circulation is moving toward the east and heading toward Kentucky, Arkansas, so you can see that's coming out of Garland County. I don't want to ignore these other tornado warnings, and I know we have had at least a tornado touchdown near Hot Springs, so I don't want to ignore this one, but we do have multiple tornado warnings. We need to zoom out a little bit and show all the tornado warnings that are active right now across Arkansas. We need to zoom in here just east of Clinton, south and east of Clinton. That is a strong rotation there that looks like it's showing up here on radar if we can get a little closer. That is a tornado warning here for Van Buren County. Rotation near Choctaw, and we've been talking about Hot Springs a lot, and I apologize. It's hard to do all these at once, but let's get velocity up here. That rotation just to the northeast of Choctaw, Highway 95, that rotation is right there. Let's look at debris mode. Let's make sure this hasn't touched down near Choctaw. By the way, that's going to be moving toward Fairfield Bay in the next little bit. You've got that hook. You can see here there's a little bit of a bounded weak echo region, but at this time, let's go back in time, make sure this hasn't touched down at any point. So far, it hasn't looked like that. So Fairfield Bay, stay in your safe place. I want to go a little farther south. Let's look at how things are shaping up in Conway County with that tornado warning, the little farther south. This one coming up on Interstate 40. Could we get a, all right.
Marlton, they will drop, so we'll have at least one less warning to worry about. But yeah, the most intense one is the one we're focusing on right now near Hot Springs.
Yeah, and by the way, how is the one down in Pike County looking? I want to make sure that we're not looking past. That's a pretty stout storm there, at least with some large hail along Highway 70. So at least in this part of the state, we've got 3 active tornado warnings. This one here includes Saline County. And by the way, let's get a track on this storm coming up out of Hot Springs, because this is going to eventually work its way into the metro. Let's get Little Rock on that track. Little Rock, that would be moving into the metro. I'm going to say probably around Let's see. Well, this is moving into the metro. Bryant, considered part of the metro, around 224. Little Rock, 242. So that tornado warning, look, this has been actively producing rotation since it was back near Daisy, and it has been moving right up Highway 70, and it looks like it's going to make its way eventually into the Little Rock Metro. Right now, that area where a tornado was confirmed on the ground, it may still be 37 miles to the west-southwest of Little Rock. Let's get velocity up there again. Let's see how that's shaping up compared to how it was. And you can see a very well-defined kidney bean-shaped storm. That rotation is right there northeast of Hot Springs. Tornado warning goes until 2:15 for eastern Garland County and Saline County. Far western Pulaski County is included in on this. We're going to zoom in a little closer and get a look at debris mode. I want to see if this tornado is still on the ground. It was a little while ago back into areas just north of the bypass there in Hot Springs. Let's look at velocity. Let's look at this, and let's look at how it has evolved. Let's go through time, and let's take you. There's where a tornado touched down earlier, right? Let's move it forward in time just a little bit. Right there, had a tornado on the ground. Take it, advance it, you see? All right, it may have lifted, but that's not to say that this storm does not recycle and drop another tornado. And right now, it's moving into a more highly dense population area. Everybody, of course, we're going to cover this for everybody. We want to make sure that everybody is safe. But this right now is our strongest storm. It looks like it may have lifted, but we can't guarantee that it doesn't try to drop again if it did lift. So Fountain Lake, that's moved east of you, or it's moving east of you. Whittington, Rubicon, you're next. This storm's going to continue moving east, and it's going to be eventually making its way into the Little Rock metro area. So here we go. Lonsdale, Nance, 154 and 156. Rural Dale School around 156. Kentucky at 208. Benton at 208. Saline Memorial Hospital, Salem at about 208 to 210. Bauxite around 212. Bryant, 214. You need to be in your safe place. Let's talk about those safe places. It's been a minute since we've gone over these rules. Once again, remember, not a mobile home. We want you in a sturdy structure, away from windows, lowest floor in the middle of the house. Wrap up with blankets, pillows, and put on a helmet to protect yourself from flying debris. I do want to zoom in a little closer to this storm here that's moving out of Pike County into the far northwest corner of Clark County near Glenwood. We have rotation with that. Does not at this point. Well, let's get in there a little closer. I want to see if we have any, if we have a tornado that could be out of this. Let's look at velocity. That's going to be just east of Glenwood, right along Highway 84. I know you were under a tornado warning earlier for the storm that's moved through Hot Springs. That rotation, it's kind of hard to tell because you're away from the radar. We're looking at Shreveport's radar. Can we look at the Little Rock radar? That's Little Rock? Okay. Yep. So that's going to be near Highway 8. Highway 84, Bismarck, you're included in this warning. You were not in the one earlier. So that one is there just to the east of Glenwood, that tornado warning, and I don't want to ignore we've got multiple tornado warnings we're having to juggle right now. This one for southeast Montgomery County, northwest Clark County, western Hot Spring County, and southwest Garland County. That goes until 2 p.m. But right now, the strongest tornado, well, let's go up here. We have a brand new tornado warning with this storm coming up out of Van Buren County. Let's get that entire polygon here on your screen if we can. That velocity, that rotation near Fairfield Bay over eastern sections of Van Buren County. That's moving northeast. This is a brand new tornado warning for Stone County, northwest Cleburne County, and areas of far southwestern Izard County. So this is including Mountain View, Turkey Creek, and that rotation coming up out of Fairfield Bay is going to be moving toward the north and east. So let's get in there a little closer and get some storm tracks on this, and hopefully this doesn't touch down. Like I said, we've got multiple warnings out at this time. So Fairfield Bay, that rotation is near you. You need to be in your safe place. Shirley, Brewer, Turkey Creek, Luber, Woodrow, areas like up toward Mountain View as well. So Eglantine, Fairfield Bay right now, that's moving into your area. Partain, 155. This is a possible tornado. We don't have signs of it on the ground, but we're watching it closely. Sandiff, 157. Rushing, we just got a new scan. Can you just pan down a little bit? I want to keep those town names up if we can, but I want to look at that new scan and make sure it hasn't intensified. Near Fairfield Bay, it's tighter right there just to the west of Fairfield Bay. Around Mountain Ranch Drive, Eglantine, right there. That's going to be moving north and eastward toward Partain, and it'll continue working its way up into parts of southern Stone County eventually. So let's get those town names up once again, or we can... That's okay. We've got multiple tornado warnings out there, so it's kind of tough. We have to juggle these, and I don't want us to forget this storm coming out of Garland County, because Little Rock, that'll eventually work its way into the metro. Has that tightened a little bit? Yeah. I think so too, yeah. Just south of Whittington. How does it look? In just a minute, we're going to need to look at the debris mode. That's just south of Whittington. Mill Creek Road, just to the east of you. Rotation about to cross over into Saline County. Hard to say whether that's an actual tornado on the ground. Got to watch that signature right there. You see that little white spot? Usually, you know, when you start getting blues and whites, that's when you start to see potential debris in that, and that looks a little too concentrated there. This is at least a storm that is capable of damaging wind that's coming right along Highway 128, crossing over into Saline County. So Rubicon areas there, especially north of Haskell. This is going to stay mostly north of Highway 70, but that rotation coming out of Garland County, crossing over into Saline County now. We'll get a track on that really quickly. Rubicon 159, Kentucky 205, 209 for Saline Memorial Hospital, Benton at 210. You need to be in your safe place, lowest floor, away from windows. You want to make sure that you're not in a room with windows, because that can, of course, the glass could fly around. It can be very dangerous. So lowest floor, cover up in blankets, pillows, and wait for that all clear. Let's go a little farther north. We got that rotation there. I want to get another track on this. We haven't talked about Fairfield Bay enough, and because we've been talking about that one near Hot Springs that touched down a little while ago. This is going to keep going northeast at about, how fast is it moving?
It looks like most of these are going to be between 50 and 55 miles per hour, so I've put it at 55.
Okay, so that's moving north and east. Sandiff, Brewer around 158, Rushing 2 o'clock. Turkey Creek 203, Luber 207, going up toward West Richwoods, East Richwoods, Mountain View at 212. So that doesn't mean wait until 212 to get in your safe place. That means go now, because the tornado, or the possible tornado, will be moving over the Mountain View area at around 212. So the rotation is near Fairfield Bay. This storm taking a little bit more of a northerly component to its track. So rather than moving more east, it seems to be moving almost due northeast there. So Sandiff, that's going to be crossing over into far northwestern Cleburne County before it crosses over into southern Stone County here very shortly. So again, that is a tornado warning that will go until 2:15, I believe. Is that correct? 2:15 or 2:30?
Let me double check with you here. We have 4 active tornado warnings right now. Okay. So yeah, 2:15 for that one. I'm going to go through these tornado warnings really quickly here, and you can, we'll start north and go south. This one up top, that does include Mountain View, 2:15. The other one that is just outside of Clinton until 2 p.m. And you can point at this too, Joel, since you're at the wall, of course. The one that's including Benton here, 2:15, and the one farther south, 2 o'clock. Again, the most potent of those storms, and where we're noticing some of that rotation over there closer to Benton, that was just outside of Hot Springs now, tracking farther east, and then also the one closer to Mountain View and farther north. All right, again, the time is now 1:53. You're watching Arkansas Storm Team coverage right now. A PDS tornado watch is in effect across much of the state right now. If we can get that pulled up, that is a tornado watch that is considered as a particularly dangerous situation. So we want you to take these warnings a lot more seriously. Do we still have a tornado? I believe we have a tornado maybe on the ground here. Yeah, we want to watch the one over there. Yeah. What's that? So we've got that rotation right there near Whittington. Let's look at yeah, we need to look at the correlation coefficient. We've got a tornado here on the ground here approaching Rubicon. We're going to be talking about this one for a while, because this is going to be generally working its way toward the Little Rock Metro. So Owensville, that tornado is on the ground right now. That's moving toward the east, toward Crows. There's Rubicon, Highway 5 right there. Just to the east of Crows, you can see that whole area is in the track of this tornado. Let's get a track on this once again, Carmen, because this is eventually, if it holds together, that's going to take it into the Little Rock metro area. Let's get Little Rock in this track. I'd imagine a new tornado warning will be issued eventually for Little Rock.
So we're going to be watching that. That is a tornado right now on the ground in Saline County, just to the west of this will be just to the west of Rubicon. So Rubicon, 157. You need to be in your safe place. Lowest 4 away from windows. Let's scoot this a little bit over so we can get those safe places up on your screen while we've got those town names lifted up. So again, those safe places, you want to find a sturdy structure, and if you want, you can lift that up a little bit more so people can see it a little bit better. And take a picture of this and send it to your family and friends if you have family and friends in Saline County. Again, this is a tornado on the ground right there in Saline County. It's moving to the east, northeast. Moving toward Rubicon, 157 is over Owensville now. That'll be moving into Kentucky at 203. Benton is right here. It may stay north of Benton proper, but let's make sure you're in the safe place. And we're going to get another track on that. That is right along 298. Rubicon, safe place. Lowest floor, away from windows. Wrap up in blankets and pillows. Cover up with a mattress and wait until you've gotten the all clear, because that is a tornado on the ground in Saline County, and it's moving to the east. And yes, Little Rock is in the track of this storm. Let's take the safe place down really quickly and get some town names on there. Little Rock, that'll be moving in around 2:30. Let's clear this. I believe, do we have a new tornado warning up here near Greenbrier? Yeah,
for Menifee, this one's going to include Menifee.
All right, let's get up here a little bit closer. I know that we still have this tornado on the ground in Saline County, but right here, a brand new tornado warning has been issued. Let's get the rain mode up here. This is near Greenbrier and Republican. This is northern Faulkner County. You can see that hook right there at 285 to the west of Greenbrier. Greenbrier, this is a tornado warning until 2:45. That's moving toward the north and east toward Guy, Enders, Quitman, also included in this tornado warning. That rotation has strengthened a little bit. That is the reason why we have a tornado warning that goes until 2:45 now, and it's going to be taking it across Highway 65 near Greenbrier, maybe right around Republican. So that rotation now around Arrowhead Road, Union Road, coming up out of Conway County. And it's going to be crossing over Highway 65 near Greenbrier, if not right over Greenbrier, maybe just north. And eventually it'll probably ride right along Highway 25, and eventually it'll make it back up here into Cleburne County. And look, some of you have already had multiple tornado warnings at this point. You're probably going to have more, unfortunately, for some places. So let's treat all of these seriously. We've already had multiple tornadoes touch down at this point, and here we are with another storm trying to develop. And by the way, we still have a tornado on the ground in Saline County that we're going to be watching. But again, Greenbrier, need to be in your safe place. Greenbrier up Highway 25, that includes Quitman, that includes areas of southwestern Cleburne County. That is a stout area of rotation. Let's look at debris mode. Let's make sure we don't have a tornado warning on the ground. And I'm going to have to take my Apple Watch off here because it keeps trying to talk to me. That is just to the south and west of Greenbrier. It's going to be moving to the north and east. So I don't see any debris on this yet, but it is trying to tighten up. Let's zoom out. I want to make sure we're back down in Saline County. We need to, I know that these are strong areas of rotation there in Faulkner County and in northwestern Cleburne County that's moving up into Stone County. But we got to watch this one because there is a tornado warning on the ground confirmed in Saline County right now that we need to be on right now. Let's zoom in a little closer. And you can see that that is right now, right there to the east of Whittington, right there near Rubicon. Let's get debris mode on there. As long as we have a debris signature on here, we probably need to stay on that correlation coefficient. There's Rubicon. The rotation may have weakened a little bit. It may have weakened. Let's hope so, and let's hope it stays weakening because this is moving into a very highly populated area. Owensville Cutoff, that area. Crows, Rubicon, that's moving east toward Kentucky. Mountain View Road, Narrows Road. That is a tornado warning that goes until 2:15 for Saline County. You need to be in your safe place. There was a tornado warning. There was a tornado on the ground earlier. Let's get debris up here, to debris mode, just to see if this is still on the ground. Right around Rubicon, we're wanting to look at debris mode here. And if we can get that pulled up, I'd like to see if that is still a tornado on the ground. May still have some signs of a tornado on the ground. Let's look at how that's evolved since it came up out of Whittington and Owensville. It was on the ground when it came out of Garland County. It lifted, and then it looks like it's touched down again. And it looks like it may have lifted for the time being. But y'all, I know that this is moving into a very populated area and we can't let our guard down. Let's go back up here into Van Buren. Let's get these two warnings here in the same view. We've got this warning here. There's doesn't look like it's on the ground, but there's rotation. This northeast of Fairfield Bay. Let's switch to velocity mode. See where that is. So we've got.
I know we're focusing on these storms up here toward Fairfield Bay and then Mountain View as well for both these warnings. I did want to say, just so you know, Joel, there has been damage reported over in Hot Springs, some trees down, some power outages in Garland County. That's been relayed to us. So there is damage and power outages over there with this storm. So just so everybody knows, these storms are producing damage.
Yeah, exactly. And Carmen, we've been looking at this on our debris mode on radar. And about 10 years ago, we got basically new features with radar. We can actually look and see if there's debris lofted in the sky from these storms, and that's a great product. It gives us confirmation, but we don't want you to wait until we have confirmation to take your shelter. Fairfield Bay, this is another area of rotation that's coming up out of south of Clinton. We need to watch there. That's going to be tracking over you here soon. Doesn't look like it's on the ground right now, but we need to be staying in our safe place there. Fairfield Bay. All right, has that rotation, had it made over into northwestern Cleburne County? I was thinking that we had, let's put a track on this. Let's see, Shirley at 210, Partain 211. I may be saying these wrong, just bear with me, but that's going to be moving north and eastward toward Mountain View there.
I'm going to zoom back down, Joel, just so we can focus on what's going down closer to Saline County and that area of rotation as well. Since Benton, I know people are hearing sirens right now, so I just want to highlight this really quickly.
And let's loop this really quickly, because what we're still looking at, that's the rotation that was over Hot Springs earlier. Did damage. That is likely a tornado that touched down. That circulation is weakened a little bit around Rubicon, but look, just a few minutes ago, it was on the ground. So Little Rock, you're not under a tornado warning right now, but it's very possible that you will be in the next little while. That's tracking toward the east and northeast, and right now, it's just in a cycling phase. It weakens and then it re-strengthens. It weakens, it re-strengthens. We believe it touched down as a tornado near Hot Springs, and it may have touched down again, or likely touched down again near Rubicon. So that's tracking to the east. Let's get a list of town names on there, including Little Rock. That's going to be moving probably just to the north of Bryant, but Bryant around 217, and about 221 for Alexander. Vimy Ridge 222, so that point it'll be in Pulaski County. Shannon Hills Cosmetic Surgery Center. These are landmarks here that are programmed in our system to give you a better idea, just in case maybe you're not familiar with some of these town names. But Iron Springs, Oak Forest, that'll eventually work into Little Rock. We just hope it doesn't re-strengthen, because at this point this has dropped at least, we believe, maybe 2 tornadoes. We had a tornado touchdown maybe around Hot Springs. We believe it lifted and maybe touched down again in Saline County. That rotation likely between Rubicon and Kentucky right now. And I believe we may. Do we have a tornado on the ground there?
I don't have confirmation, but again, we don't like seeing this on correlation coefficient. Just as a heads up, Little Rock, you are going to likely get a tornado warning here with that storm. So again, we've been tracking this. We saw what looks like a potential debris ball. Again, very seriously here. We've had damage associated with that. So we're treating this as it's on the ground. That's going to be heading toward Little Rock. So just as a heads up, we will likely be hearing those sirens. We'll have that warning issued shortly. Joel.
All right, thanks, Carmen. Again, this is a very busy day. We've got several active tornado warnings. While we don't have confirmation right now, although we did have a tornado on the ground earlier for Saline County, I want to go over, let's get that tornado watch up. We haven't showed that in a while. I want to remind you that most of Arkansas right now is under a tornado watch that is classified as a PDS tornado watch. That means it is a particularly dangerous situation. We need to treat every tornado warning seriously today. Already we've had tornado touchdowns, and we may have more, and likely will, because these storms haven't gotten into that level 5 risk area yet. New tornado warning now out for Pulaski County. This one will go until when, Carmen? 2:30? All right, 2:30, and Little Rock, that does include you. My phone is going off here right now. I'm going to go ahead and turn that off. All right, so if you're in Little Rock, this does include you. That rotation is over here in Saline County right now. Let's get that track a little farther north. That may have been plotted just there we go. So that's tracking east, northeast. So Kentucky at 206. So that's moving through Kentucky, Arkansas right now. Salem, 213. Alexander, 221. This is a tornado that earlier was on the ground earlier. So we need to treat this as if it is possibly going to reproduce another tornado. Alexander 221, 225 Mableville, 229 in Rosedale, 229 in Britain. Oak Forest at 233 and Little Rock 233. So that is when we expect this to make its way through the metro. We're going to be here walking you through this. Right now, that rotation about 22 miles to the west-southwest of Little Rock. All right, so once again, let's zoom in a little tighter. There's Rubicon, there's Crows, Kentucky. That's where that rotation is right now. It may have weakened a little bit, but let's get a look at well, this is rotation. Let's get a look at debris mode, because earlier there was a tornado on the ground with this. And right now, we don't know if that is lifted. That looks like a tornado that's right there on the ground, just to the north and west of Kentucky, right in there. So let's zoom in a little closer. This is going to be north of the Bryant area, right around Bland Trail. Could be a tornado on the ground. Kind of hard to tell if that's an actual debris signature, but my gut's kind of telling me it probably is. Breezewood Lane right there, Lancaster Loop, moving east, Goodwin Road, Avila Road, and that's going to keep moving east. Let's put another track on that. Congo. That's going to eventually cross over into Pulaski County and will likely take this storm, whether it brings a tornado into the Little Rock City or not, it's going to bring that rotation in eventually. So Salem 213, Redgate at 220. Terrytown 222, Pinnacle at 225. This is a tornado that may be or is on the ground. We know it has had history of doing damage in Hot Springs, so we need to treat this storm seriously. Coming through Saline County right now. There's Kentucky. Let's kind of pan down. I want to make sure we have the I-30 corridor just in view so we can get a little more perspective. So there's Benton, there's Bryant, there's I-30. So we're north of I-30. There's your rotation right there. You know, I'm seeing that debris signature there. This rotation not as tight maybe as it was, but it's tight enough that it's prompted that warning for Pulaski County. So we're going to treat this as a tornado that probably may be on the ground, kind of hard to tell right now. But as it moves into Little Rock, we'll have a little better idea, of course. Right now, that rotation, there's Kentucky. You know what, it may be a couple different areas of rotation near Kentucky and then just north, just to the west of Congo. Right there, that's Highway 5, 298. Salem is here, Congo is here. That's going to be tracking toward Congo and Salem. If you have family and friends in those communities, call them. Let them know that we're on the air here. This is Arkansas Storm Team coverage. We are here with Chief Meteorologist Carmen Rose along with Pat Walker, and we're tracking an area of rotation that has had history of dropping a tornado back into Garland County and into parts of western Saline County. So find your safe place. Little Rock, this includes you. Find a sturdy structure, not a mobile home. We want you in a sturdy structure because mobile homes are dangerous in these storms. Once again, let's get those safe places up there. Once again, we want you to find that safe place, lowest floor. Find a small room, a closet, interior room of your house. If that bathroom has a window, don't go there. That's not safe. The window could break and, you know, glass, that's not a good thing. Wrap up with blankets, pillows, and put on a helmet to protect yourself from flying debris. That is a storm coming through Saline County. We do have 2 other tornado warnings that are active right now. I want to make sure that we are covering those, and we want to make sure that no one is left out. Again, that's the tornado warning for Saline County and Pulaski County. We have one here in northern Faulkner County coming up Highway 25, right over Quitman right now. And then there's another one there into southern Stone County. That is a nasty signature, though, with that storm. And look, I'm frustrated because I want to make sure that our friends up here in Greenbrier are taken care of. Carmen, let's just look. I want to make sure that I need to make sure that we don't have a tornado on the ground here with this.
Okay. And the other thing, too, is it's 2:08 right now. I know that parents are wanting to pick their kids up from school. You are not able to do that right now since we do have that active tornado warning. It is until 2:30 p.m. Joel, we're going to get right back into that tornado warning again north of Little Rock, but Little Rock Metro. If you have kids in school right now, you're not able to pick them up. We have this active tornado warning until 2:30 as of right now.
All right. So here is right here. There's Quitman. So this is not actually over Quitman yet. This is coming up out of Greenbrier. That rotation has intensified a good bit, Carmen. Do we have can we get a look at debris? I want to make sure there's not a tornado on the ground near Guy right now. That's Highway 25, a very hilly area, not a lot of visibility with trees all around. That is a road that takes you right up here toward Heber Springs. Now, because we have multiple tornado warnings in place right now, friends in northern Faulkner County, just know we're going to be splitting our time between these tornado warnings. I would love to spend all of our time on, I want to make sure everybody's covered, but that is an area of rotation that is strengthened, likely producing at least damaging wind. That's going to be moving up Highway 25. Call your family and friends. Let them know to take cover at Guy Perkins School, Centerville Park, Enders, or Onders perhaps. Quitman, that's going to be moving in around 2:15 to 2:20, and then it'll continue working its way up toward Heber Springs more than likely. Taking you a little farther south, again, we have this tornado warning still in progress for eastern Saline County, western Pulaski County, and that includes, I say western Pulaski County, but that does include all of the Little Rock Metro. So right now that tornado warning, it goes until 2:20. Let's remove that. Let's look at debris mode. I am trying to determine whether we have a tornado on the ground. It's hard to tell right now. This has been a storm, though, that has been our strongest storm and the most persistent storm. It has dropped at least, we believe, 2 tornadoes at some point, and it may be producing one now. Let's look again at rain mode. All right, there's your rotation. It co-locates. Let's look at rain mode right at the tip of that hook. That's where we probably could have a tornado on the ground right now. So let's get another track on that. That's going to take it into Little Rock, unfortunately, folks. You need to be in your safe place. West Little Rock, especially right now, that's going to be working its way through Ferndale. Actually, it may stay east-southeast of Ferndale, but you're going to be getting some hail up here from North Point down to Ferndale. Places in the path of this storm, unfortunately, most of the Little Rock Metro. So Pinnacle, 225, Rosedale at 228, Geyer Springs, 230, lowest floor, away from windows, Maumelle at about 231, Arkansas Children's Hospital downtown, and downtown Little Rock around 230 to 235, right in that window. North Little Rock, 235 as well. College Station, Sherwood eventually. Gravel Ridge, Olmsted, I should say, Jacksonville, and Rebsamen Medical Center. So that is a supercell coming into the western part of Little Rock. We need that to weaken. We need that to weaken right there over western. That is coming out of Saline County, about to cross over into Pulaski County. Let's take you up to Stone County. I want to make sure that that warning there is not ignored. This is the one coming out of Conway County. Let's go a little farther north. Excuse me, that's coming out of Faulkner County. That rotation is near Guy.
Than what's over Mountain View.
I just want to make sure, though, that I want to look at it. Let's switch over to, which radar are we looking at?
This is still on Little Rock.
Okay.
I can switch you over to storm, to our velocity mode, of course, to see that. But again, I'm not liking what I'm seeing over Guy as well.
Yeah, let's take you. That Luber, by the way, there is rotation there. That's going to be taking it up east of Mountain View toward Wool Quarry along the White River. Now let's go back down to Faulkner County. We're talking about Guy. It's a good call. Right there, there's Heber Springs there, Guy. That rotation there coming up Highway 25 near Onders, Quitman, that's closing in on you. Let's get in our safe place. Onders, Quitman High School between 2:15 and 2:20. So within the next 10 minutes, Quitman proper around 2:19. Cove Creek Recreation Area around 2:27. Pearson, 2:27. And then up toward Heber Springs eventually. Now, that warning goes up to Quitman, and they may eventually decide to carry that up into Heber Springs. But I just want to make sure we're all covered there in northern Faulkner County. Safe place. We may not be able to get back to you because we have a tornado or a possible tornado moving into the Little Rock Metro area right now. So we're south of Ferndale. Here's where the tip of that hook echo is right there coming out of Saline County. That's going to take it on a trajectory that would probably take it right there toward the Big Rock interchange in that general area. Sirens are reportedly not going off in Little Rock. They should be, or in West Little Rock. They should be. Safe place now in Little Rock. We need you in your safe place. There's that supercell thunderstorm. That rotation is going to be right there. If we can pan down just a little bit, Carmen, here. That rotation right at the tip of that hook. And it's moving toward the east-northeast, so it's going to be heading toward Rosedale. Let's look at velocity on that. I want to see how that's evolved. All right, there's your hook. Let's look at velocity. right in there is coming out of Saline County. It's going to be going over Twin Springs and eventually toward Big Rock. So that's right in that general area, and that's going to, unfortunately, it's going to take that rotation. We need to certainly keep a close eye on this because, you know, this is a day that can be certainly a really rough day. We have it moving right toward Little Rock right now as far as where that rotation is. Let's look at city names. Let's get a track on this once again. Twin Springs, 221. Around Spring Valley at 224. Rosedale, 228. Meadowcliff, Oak Forest, Little Rock, 234. That's when the storm will be moving over Little Rock. So this is going to be closing in here very soon. It is 2:14 right now. You're watching, or 2:15 now. You're watching Arkansas Storm Team coverage here. We've got Chief Meteorologist Carmen Rose here alongside Pat Walker, Juliana Cullen here. We've got all hands on deck. Rotation coming out of Saline County, crossing over into Pulaski County. This tornado warning for the Little Rock Metro goes until 2:30. So that rotation working its way to the east-northeast. And let's look at, we need to look at debris mode. We need to make sure that this is or is not on the ground. That is crossing out of Saline County. Let's look at, I'm seeing a lot of bad data here. It's kind of hard to see if this is on the ground. And right now I don't see clear signs that it is. And I pray that it is not. But that's moving into western Little Rock right now. That circulation near Twin Springs, it's tightened up a little bit. Would you agree, Carmen?
It does look like it's tightened up a little bit.
Yeah.
Right to the, yeah, exactly. Just to the west of Twin Springs. Again, this is going to be continuing on that path farther eastward, eventually up toward Camac Village, toward the Heights, toward Hillcrest, toward Little Rock, North Little Rock. You all need to be in your safe spot right now because we are seeing enough rotation and National Weather Services to, of course, have that tornado warning in place here until 2:30.
And Carmen, this is no longer just a storm that's capable of producing a tornado. It is a storm that has produced a tornado.
Yeah.
We believe has touched down in Garland County. It touched down in Saline County.
Yeah.
It may have lifted.
And one
maybe
thing,
touching down again.
And one thing too, just to interrupt you here, it looks like a wall cloud has been spotted southwest off of 430 and Rodney Parham.
So you probably are getting a view of this from the Otter Creek area, kind of looking back northwest.
West Little Rock, Otter Creek, you're going to be seeing this.
That doesn't mean get out there and try to look at it. We want you to get in your safe place. You may not be able to see it, but that is a clearly rotation there coming into Twin Springs, Spring Valley. It has tightened up a little bit. The last thing I want to see it do is tighten up anymore. We know that it has touched down in parts of Garland County near Hot Springs, just north of town. And this same rotation that we've been following since it was back in Pike County, now getting its way into the Little Rock Metro. So right now it's over Twin Springs. That's moving toward the east-northeast. We're putting a track on it right now. That storm is likely going to affect, in some ways, the areas inside the I-430, 630 loop there in Little Rock, a very highly populated area. Twin Springs, Spring Valley, Pankey. You've got a lot of landmarks here as well that are, maybe you know them, maybe you don't, but if you do and you live in these areas, you want to take cover. Rosedale, Woodland Heights, Camac Village, 229. That's also in the Heights. Oak Forest, 229. University of Arkansas Medical Center, right around 2:30. And so that's going to be in the Little Rock area. Let's get closer here. There's the rotation near Lawson Road, Beauchamp Road. There's Lawson Road here, Faulkner Road. That's where your rotation is. So that's going to take it east. So is this Chenal right here, if I'm not mistaken? If we look a little closer, we that.
Yes.
So we're not quite that close to the metro just yet. Okay, so yes, that's Colonel Glenn right there, not Chenal. So here we go, but still, Chenal, that area, you're under this tornado warning. So here's Sparks Road. That's where this rotation is. It's going to be kind of following Lawson Road, approaching Rawlings Cove, Colonel Glenn Road, and areas a little farther to the east, northeast of there. So again, we've got that rotation moving in. Carmen.
And just as why this is a very serious situation, it looks like the National Weather Service, they've gone and contacted Memphis because they may actually need to shelter in place at the National Weather Service. So you have meteorologists at the National Weather Service who will end up having to take shelter and move into their tornado safe place. We need to all be in that safe place as well. If you are watching, if you are streaming, we have a tornado warning until 2:30. This is something to take seriously. Joel.
So that's a very good point. So the meteorologists of the National Weather Service saying they're going to hand off their responsibilities to the Weather Service in Memphis, maybe. if this continues to take that path, because the National Weather Service is in the path of this as well. So Spring Valley, that's going to be closing in right now. Rosedale 229, friends there. Oak Forest, University of Arkansas Medical Center. You'll need to be in your safe place here. That's not waiting until these times. This is when the storm will be passing overhead, but we want you to go ahead and seek that shelter right now. Carmen, let's talk about these safe places once again and list those. I know we have friends that have mobile homes, perhaps. Mobile homes, unfortunately, are not safe places in this event. You want to find your safe place, a sturdy structure, lowest floor, away from windows, the middle of the building, a room that is surrounded by other rooms. You want to wrap up with blankets and pillows and put on perhaps a helmet to protect from flying debris. This is a very pronounced hook echo now near Twin Springs. It's actually moved a little east. And Carmen, this isn't looking good, unfortunately, in terms of the appearance on rain mode of radar. Let's look at velocity. I want to make sure this has not strengthened on us. Let's look at velocity there near Twin Springs. All right.
Yeah.
It's not. I'm not seeing the signs of the strengthening yet. I think that's to come. Unfortunately, on the rain mode, we're seeing it trying to curl up a little more. I would expect the next scan to perhaps show a tighter couplet there. That is Twin Springs. This is trying to produce a tornado. Little Rock, let's talk. Right there, just west of town, and closing in on Colonel Glenn, and eventually toward Big Rock, we've got a supercell that is capable of producing a tornado. Not just capable, it has. It produced at least touchdown perhaps near Hot Springs and over into western Saline County. It's trying to do it again. So we're closing in on Little Rock right now. This rotation south of Pankey, there's Pinnacle right there. Chenal runs just like that. And there's Twin Springs. So this is approaching Chenal, the promenade, all of that area that's going to be taking it up into the heights. Eventually, it'll take it up through Midtown and all of that area, unfortunately, and eventually take it up into Sherwood and North Little Rock. So we're putting a track on this whole storm, but I really think here in just a moment, Carmen, let's also try to get a cone track on this because that'll track the actual rotation. But this storm here, it's going to be moving through Marche around 223, Woodland Heights at 224, Hague at 228, Oak Forest 230, Pulaski 231, Little Rock 230. We've talked about Little Rock multiple times, and we're in the metro right now. This is closing in. I really hope this doesn't touch down. I hope it stays aloft and passes us completely. I hope all of us get over, gets this, doesn't touch down. But unfortunately, that is the reality we're facing right now. This storm has had history of producing damage in Garland and Saline County. Now it's in Pulaski County, and it's moving into an environment that is much more conducive for tornado development. So you can clearly see that hook moving into West Little Rock right now. So you need to be in your safe place along Chenal, out on Colonel Glenn Road, out on Canis Road. You need to be in your safe place, West Little Rock, bottom line. Be in that safe place. Sturdy structure, not a mobile home. And by the way, we're not just talking about West Little Rock, we're also talking about Little Rock proper. No mobile homes. We need to be in a small room away from windows, wrap up with blankets and pillows, and that'll protect you hopefully from any flying. They put until given the all clear. KARK Road, Hartford Street, safe place now. Canis Road, that's going to be approaching Big Rock and I-430 here very soon. We have a live look right now, we believe, of that funnel cloud. Can you tell me, we're looking at Fair Park and I-630. So this is there in the Midtown area. We're looking back toward the west. There's that Days Inn that's located at Fair Park and 630. You're looking back toward the west at that lowering. We're going to keep an eye on that here very soon. If y'all, we can back up. All right, let's go to Max 1 now. And what are we looking at here on Max 1? All right, this is a live look here at the Simmons Bank Tower Cam. So you can see the rain off in the distance. You can see that this is downtown. There's the Capitol. Very likely now a tornado in West Little Rock. So looking back toward the west. Did you say what now? West of West Little Rock. So it's moving in now. This is off toward the west. You're seeing kind of some rain there. It's kind of hard to tell there, but what's that? Let's go back to radar. We need to get radar up. Can we double box that? Let's double box it. So there's your rotation there that's intensified a little bit more near Canis Road, Henson Road. That's moving into West Little Rock now. Let's get a little tighter here. That rotation is really strengthened there. We're seeing some really strong rotation there near Napa Valley Drive there. So that's moving northeast. Green Mountain Circle, safe place now. West Markham Street, safe place now. Lowest floor, away from windows, in a room that is surrounded by other rooms. And make sure that you stay there until given the all clear. That is. Let's look at debris mode. We need to make sure this is not
some talkings here of debris that's being lofted.
All right, let's get that correlation.
This is serious.
All right. All right, we've got debris that's being lofted. We've got our amateur radio operator here that is monitoring this, and we're getting word of debris that is being lofted back here into West Little Rock. So we have a tornado that is on the ground moving into West Little Rock. And before we continue, and I want to make sure that we're covered in Little Rock, do we have any other tornado warnings in the area that need to be covered right now?
This is the one that's most potent. We're going to focus on this one.
We're going to focus on this one. This is a highly populated area. Friends, I know we have multiple tornado warnings out there. This one is producing more than likely out here towards Chenal Parkway. Call your friends, family in Little Rock. Let them know to tune in right now. We're on Arkansas Storm Team coverage, Fox 16, and KARK coverage. Watching this is a tornado near Gamble Road. It's going to be moving east-northeast. So places like Pinnacle Point Hospital, 225, Baptist Health Medical Center, 227, 228, the Anthony School, K-Mac Village at 229, Oak Forest 230, moving through downtown Little Rock, or hopefully not, hopefully this isn't, I mean, we're getting word of debris, so, but either way, that's moving toward the east-northeast. So here's Brookside. And by the way, we need to be thinking about safe place for those of us here in this building. All non-essential personnel probably need to be seeking a safe place here soon. Carmen.
Of debris over there toward Napa Valley and Henson. Napa Valley and Henson getting reports of debris. So this is more than likely that tornado on the ground right now. So we'll get into the street level. Joel, if you want to go ahead and point out some more of these streets with that.
All right, let's get a little closer because this tornado is likely on the ground right now. There's 430. This is going to be closing in on 430 soon. So this is going to kind of go through the Pleasant Valley area. There's North Shackelford Road, so that's going to be moving from Chenal. This is near the Promenade right now, and St. Charles Boulevard. There's Woodlore. Let's get a little bit closer here. I want to get some more street names here. There's Shackelford. There's Beverly Hills Drive. There's Markham Park. You're seeing here on the side of your screen. Can you tell me what we're looking at here, by the way, producers? It's in that second screen. What perspective is that? But whatever we're seeing, obviously, there's some obvious... that is the rotation with that storm there. Obvious.
Napa Valley. Fair Park and 60.
All right. So Napa Valley and Henson Road. That's moving northeast. That's likely. Let's get a little. I want to get a little zoomed in here. Here's 430. I want to go a little farther north and see where this is going to cross 430. This is probably going to take it up this track toward the Heights, that general area, K-Mac Village. It's going to be moving up to the north and east. It's moving around Maryland Road. Let's get a little closer. Let's get some tracks. There we go. All right, so let's see. This is going to be moving toward Walnut Valley Christian Academy, Terry Elementary School, Butler Park, Henderson Middle School, Brady Elementary School, the Anthony School, Cambridge Village at 231. So this will be likely in the 430 loop within the next few minutes. Safe place now in the Heights, in Midtown, in Pleasant Valley, that whole general area. This is taking it on that track. We need to look at debris mode. We need to look at debris mode right now and see how this is shaping up. This is moving toward the east-northeast. We're told this is a tornado on the ground. Can we remove that track? Still hard to tell. That's tough to say that there's actually a tornado on the ground according to this debris indicator, but we do have reports of that from others, from people who are spotting it in real time. So I don't want to go against that. And that is certainly strengthening. And that rotation now, there is a tornado emergency now. Okay.
Yes.
Tornado emergency for Little Rock. What that means is this is now a confirmed tornado. Let's get a little closer here because this is now in the 430 loop. So Pleasant Valley, it's moving. It's really right over K-Mac Village. It's going to be crossing over It's going to be kind of out near the Big Dam Bridge, moving toward the east-northeast. So there's K-Mac Village, Rebsamen Park Road. So there's the Big Dam Bridge right there. That rotation crossing over the Arkansas River here very soon, if not already. Tornado reportedly on the ground. Moving toward the east-northeast. It's going to be over into North Little Rock here very soon. This is an emergency. Let's zoom out a little bit and get a track on this. It's moving generally toward Levy, and it's going to be moving kind of up through North Little Rock, the Camp Robinson Road area, JFK, around 2:30. So this may stay north of downtown Little Rock. It's crossing over the Arkansas River, and it's going to keep taking it up that way. So again, let's clear the screen a little bit. We've got a lot of boxes up here.
We've got vehicles that are being reported thrown over there at Hinson and 430. So this is what we're looking at. Again, this is moving through K-Mac, West Little Rock, North Little Rock, taking cover. You need to do that right now. Joel, we want to go back to you to do street level.
Yeah, let's get in here. We've got Missouri. Let's see and we're really close to the radar site. There's the radar site. It's tough to get good data when it's so close, but we are right in here. Let's zoom out just a little.